ॐ स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः।
Dear friends, welcome back to the study of the 7th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, and we have completed the study of the 19th verse, the 19th shloka. We have seen in great detail and studied in great detail shloka number 16, verse number 16 to verse number 19. These verses sums up the whole gamut of spiritual discipline that a novice would like to start from, and Sri Krishna tells him and teaches him what is the end result or the end goal of this spiritual discipline. And we have seen it in great detail. Now we move on to the 20th shloka. And from the 20th to the 30th shloka, these 11 shlokas deals with something which is very relevant to us. Having known that there are 4 types or 4 groups of people who remember God or accept God's presence or tries to interact with God. They are people in great distress, in great agony, in great misery. Artha. The second group is Jigyashu. They have an inquisitiveness in their mind, and that inquisitiveness is translated into a practical approach. Jigyashu. I've heard of God. Let me see whether God exists or not. Let me first convince myself intellectually and rationally about His presence, and then I'll interact with Him. But hypothetically, he starts with this understanding that God is, but I don't know anything about Him. The acceptance of the awareness of presence of God is the highest common factor amongst Artha, Jigyashu, Artharthi, and Jnani. That is the highest common factor. Next is the depth of involvement and duration of involvement. Artha is a person who is in great distress, and when he finds no way out, he looks up towards the skies and prays, "Oh God, help me." And after that help has arrived and his distress has disappeared, he very conveniently forgets God. That is a type, and we most are of that type. Then comes Jigyashu, the inquirer. The third is an Artharthi, a man desirous of achieving some goal in worldly life. And he's trying his very best, but the insurmountable obstacles surround him. And he doesn't know how to come out of it, so he prays to God, "Please give me and fulfill this desire of mine. Give me this boon so that my desire is fulfilled." When the desire is fulfilled, he enjoys, he remembers the grace of God for a while, and then again, in the flow of life, he forgets. So you see, acceptance of presence of the divine is the highest common factor of the four. Jnani he is defined as Nitya Yukta Eka Bhaktir Vishishyate. What is the definition of a Jnani? Nitya Yukta. Nitya means continuously, without any let, without any hindrance, without any break, without any interruption. To what? To his remembering the presence of the divine. Nitya Yukta. He is constantly in communion with the awareness of presence of the divine in his life and during the flow of his life. Never a break, never an interruption. It is continuing flow. Nitya Yukta. Eka Bhakti. He doesn't waver. He has fixed up his goal and is totally dedicated, devoted to that goal. Sarva Vritti Nibritta. That is a typical psychical word so that you can see. Sarva Vritti. No modulation of mind. The mind is steady. Steady in what? The awareness of presence of the divine, and that divine I have chosen a form, Ishtadeva, Ishtadevi, and I am Eka Bhakti. There is no other idea but this. He is a Jnani. Having defined those four, he says Jnani is the best of all of them. And then, where does that Jnani lead to? Vasudevam sarvamiti sa mahatma sudurlabha. That Jnani matures into that level of awareness that he lives in this world, just like an ordinary man, ordinary woman, lady. And he lives in this world in such a manner, wherever and wherever his eyes fall, that form is there, that name is there, the quality is there, the utilitarian value is there. But surpassing all that, he sees the presence of the divine everywhere. This is, dear, the supreme spiritual achievement known as Vijnani's Avastha, Jivana Mukta Avastha. Vasudevam Sarvamiti. He finds the divine everywhere, and not only the abstract presence, in the typical form, in which form you are meditating on it. That form crystallizes and it is everywhere. That is the topmost achievement as far as spiritual achievements are concerned, and that type of a person is very rare to be found in the society. Sudurlabha. He has said all that, and we have repeated endless manner. I am repeating again now. Now we come to the 20th shloka. In the 20th shloka, Sri Krishna is not rejecting the others. Others means apart from the Jnani, all others. All inclusive. You cannot say God is partial. From this 20th shloka to the end of the chapter, the 30th shloka, Sri Krishna will explain to you why does a person does not find me as the goal of life, does not seek me to develop a Nitya Yukta Eka Bhakti Avastha. Why does he not? He's explaining. Why is he explaining? He's explaining so that I understand where I go wrong. And it is a procedure of self-correction, self-management. So God, don't say when God appreciates, admires the Jnani, for heaven's sake, don't use your human measures on God. Oh, he's partial. Please don't. He is being absolutely truthful. And if we are honest to ourselves, we will say, yes, I keep on jumping around like a monkey from branch to branch. I want this now. I pray to God. And I'm in a jam. I pray to God. And then I conveniently forget Him when that is over. It's a fact of life. And God says, I will analyze to you what is happening to you. Why is it so? So that I help you to correct yourself to be a Jnani. The remaining 11 shlokas of the chapter are various aspects of God's attitude of being helpful to all of us. This is the sum and substance of reading the Gita and not thinking or analyzing, assessing or evaluating God's intentions, whether He is partial or impartial. Don't project human measures to God. Try to understand Him as He explains Himself to you. Always remember, He is trying to explain Himself to you. Now let us start. Kamaistai rita jnana prapadyante anya devata. Now before we get along, prapadyante anya devata. They take shelter, they take refuge under, they expect help from anya devata. Different forms of gods and goddesses. Anya means different. Devata means gods, including Devis. That is, te prapadyante anna devata. The second quarter of the verse or the second quarter of the first line. Kamai staistai rita jnana. Leave it above. Bhakte bhajante prapadyante anya devata. They take shelter in, they seek refuge of a different form of gods and goddesses. Why? Kamaistai rita jnana. Because of enormous amount of varieties of desires that assail us, to fulfill that desire, I go to that goddess, that form of God, who is empowered and entitled to fulfill my desire. And you know, this is not so noble. It is a part and parcel of human life. There are various, I would say, powers, siddhis, given to a human if he performs a particular discipline. Power of Vashikarana, Uchatana, Marana, Stambhana, these are the powers. What are they? They develop a sort of magnetism in themselves. And they can influence a man in such a manner, he becomes an instrument in his hand. He loses his own self discretion, he does whatever he has to say. That is, a man can achieve that so-called power, psychic power, to totally enslave another man. Vashikarana, absolutely under your control. Go there, do that. Even to the extent it has been found out by researchers of previous scholars and etc., killing, poisoning, beating, harming. He is separate. He makes you do that. And your personal sense of discretion, what is good and bad, has been totally eradicated. There are certain devatas who give you this power. Vashikarana, Marana, Tratana, Stambhana, Uchatana, and so on and so forth. Let us not pay our attention. What I would like to tell you is that I, an ordinary human being, I am under the influence of this desire. Knowing full well that to fulfill this desire, I will be held responsible, I will be held accountable, answerable myself. So I make use of another puppet to do that for me. What has happened to me, my dears, that extensive desire, that intense desire has stolen away from me what? The sense of right and wrong, morals and ethics. Rita Jnana, it has been stolen away from me. By whom? The intensity of my desire. Kamai, my desire, it is in plural, stai, those and those kamanas, those and those desires, they have stolen away from me the sense of right and wrong, fair and foul, morals and ethics. And I know if I worship such and such a divine, such and such a force, which is an aspect of cosmic nature, cosmic power, that force, if I worship, my desire will be fulfilled and I will remain apparently clean. To the human society, not in the measure of God. In a human society, I can keep a plain face. Kamais tataistai rita jnana. Because of the intense and inordinate desire of all these aspects of power that I may have, I go and pray and take refuge to and ask my help from those different aspects of that cosmic power which emanates from the source, Parama Ishvara, and I abuse that power because of my desire. Kamaistai Rita Jnana. Underline the word Rita Jnana. Your sense of discretion, your sense of discrimination, all that sense that is given to you as a human being, all that has been stolen away by the intensity of your desire to do things in a manner through other avenues, where you try to keep your faith, but you get your desire done through others, which is highly immoral, and for you in God's account, you are accountable. In human society's account, you play safe. That is what it is. He says, look, they are the people. Tam niyamam asthaya. Those people, they follow the disciplinary requirement of those procedures of sadhana. Tam niyamam asthaya prakritya niyata swaya. according to your past tendencies, according to your past karma phalas, you develop all these desires, and to fulfill these desires, that is what you do. Therefore, you are an artharthi or you are an artha. Don't come under the influence of these. Try to be jnani. Please look at it positively. Don't look at it negatively. That is, he is explaining the details to you to protect you, to prevent you from, to teach you how not to become a victim of this. So, here in the 20th shloka, he has told you that people, they bhajante anya devata. They prapadyante anya devata. They take shelter to an aspect of that absolute cosmic power for fulfillment of their not so moral, not so ethical, not so acceptable desires that awaken their lives. The main theme of the shloka is, he explains why I am not Nitya Yukta Eka Bhakti Jnani. I have chosen my goal. This is the absolute state, and this is the absolute goal, and this is the absolute way. Or this is the indispensable way. To come back to this conclusion, he is explaining to you where and how and when we go wrong. And he carries on. Jo jo jam jam, shloka number 21. Jo jo jam jam, tanum bhakta Sridhaya architum ichchati tasya chalam bhaktshradyam tameva vidadhami aham. Now he asks you, do you ever understand what is that motive power behind you? What is the prime energy behind you? That prime energy, I give it to you. Aham vidadhami. I make it sure. Vidadhami means with my discretion I make it sure you will get it. Why? I find in you there's a glimmer of hope that going through this procedure, you will at one time understand it is all a chase of the dream. Let me think of the eternal. Through this you will come to me. That is why, with my discretion, with my sanction, my approval, you get this motivation to do so. What is that? Let me read the shloka now and you will understand. Jo jo jam jam tanum bhakta shraddhaya architum ichchati. Tanum, an aspect of the divine. As you know, according to Hindu pantheon, there are infinite number of forms and divines because we are infinite in number, to each according to their capacity. This is what I used to jokingly say, there is a great similarity between Vedanta and communism. What is that? To each according to their requirements. That's a communistic philosophy. From them according to their capacity. That is communism. The state takes from you what you have to give, and the state in return gives to you what you need to have. The state is paramount. In Vedanta philosophy, in Dvaitavada, paramount is Ishvara. He runs the show. He gives and he takes. He gives and he takes. Only there's a freedom of choice in Vedanta. In communism, you have no freedom of choice. That is it. That is the distinction. Here is a freedom of choice. There is no human freedom. So here, coming back to the text, Jam Jam Tanum Bhaktaha Shraddhaya or Chutum Ichchati. Jam Jam Jojo. Whoever and whoever, in whatever and whatever form, they want to worship me. And that form dictates a limited power. And that power comes from the divine. And I know this aspect of the divinity will give me this capacity, will give me this strength, will give me this result. I am keenly desirous of that result. Ritagyana, my sense of discretion has been stolen away. I am a victim of my desire. Therefore, I go to Shani Devata to ask him these things which he is capable of giving me. Mangala, Buddha, the Navagrahas. They each have a capacity and a power to give you. I want one of them, I choose that form, and I go, and I Shraddhaya or Chitum, and I would like to worship them from the bottom of my heart, with all my respect and regard. Where does this motivation in you come from? Have you ever thought of that? You think you are motivated. You want this desire because of your past karmas, your past tendencies which you have acquired in your life. Prakritya niyata swaya. That has been said in the previous sloka. That you have got. Now you desire this. The desire is so intense, your viveka buddhi, your sense of discretion has been totally stolen away from you. It has been submerged by your intensity of your desire. That is what has happened to you. And you, with all your heart and soul, you pray to that Devata who is capable of giving you the results that you want. Now, have you ever asked yourself, where does this motivation come from? Where is that energy coming from that you are doing so? Sri Krishna says, Tasya chalam shraddhyam tamema bidadhami aham. Without me, a leaf does not move on a tree. Nothing happens in this world without me. It is my energy which energizes the whole cosmos. That reward that you are seeking from that source of energy, your seeking energy comes from me. Energy to seek comes from me. I give that to you. Why? I want you to experience these things, the transitory things of the world. Transitory things of the world, I want to. And therefore I give you this. Please kindly try to understand the direction he's leading you to. Don't be carried away by this. It's very, very difficult to seek the real information along this, I would say, forest of words is a very, very, I would say, dicey game. It's a very dicey game because you are carried away. But what does it mean? He is the boss. He is the top man. Without his approval, nothing happens. You should remember that always. Thereby, you will graduate from being an arti to a jigyashu, to an arthati, to a jnani. This is the process I will go. So in the 21st shloka he says, Jo jo jam jam tanum bhaktaha Shraddhaya archito michati tasya tasya chalam shraddhyam tameva aham vidadhami. I am the person who gives you this motive power to explore this possibility. And exploration will lead you to this experience. All this is transitory. I am spending my life's blood and energy to achieve something transitory. Why don't I divert my energy to reach that eternal goal where I live in God, I live with God, I live for the sake of God, and that too by the blessings of the divine. I will reach that phase. What is that phase, that stage? Vasudevam Sarvamiti. I become to that category of rare being, Sudurlava, a rare being. Who is that rare being? Who roams around in this world and he lives in God, with God, for the sake of serving God's children. And he achieves that stage by blessings of God. Vidadhami, aham vidadhami. This is the meaning of the shloka, dear. Don't be carried away by the words. Be very properly informed and educated. Get the instruction out of it and carry on with your spiritual life. Now, we carry on. He is explaining to you further. Sataya Shraddhaya Yukta Tasya Radhanamihate Lavate cha Tata Kaman Maya Eva Bihitan Hitan. What does he say? Sataya Shraddhaya Yukta. Because I give him that attitude, I give him that energy, I give him that power. He, with that energy that comes from me, with due faith, due reverence, due respect, he worships that form of God whom he knows will fulfill his desires. He does so. What happens to him? Labhate sa tatah kama. His expectation, his desire is fulfilled. How it is fulfilled? Maya eva tan bihitan. Maya eva bihitan hitan. Because I have ordained it, I have approved it, I have sanctioned it. Parameshwara, in the form of Sri Krishna Bhagavan, Bhagavan tu Sri Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. He is teaching you, and he is using the word I, me, and mine all through. Thereby, that pantheic conception, though it is polytheism, but theism is common, monotheism, polytheism. Theism is common. Awareness of presence of God is common. But because of my past karmas, because of my past samskaras, desires generate in me. And those desires propel me to seek out a source who is competent to fulfill my desires. So I go to that aspect of the divine to fulfill my desires. But I do not know this motivation to fulfill my desires comes from that original source of energy, Parameshwara, who is Vasudeva because of his descent, Avatarana. He has incarnated himself. He says, it is because of me, by me, mine and I. Me, mine and I. He uses 3 words. He says, Sataya Shraddhaya Bhaktaha, with great devotion, this person, Radhanam Yihati, he performs all the puja and archana and all that for that God. Labhate cha tatah kaman, and he ultimately is satisfied by the blessings of the lesser divine, allow me to use that word, Shudra Devata, lesser divine, an ancillary as it were. He gives you that boon and you enjoy it, but know for certain it has come, it has emanated, it has been ordained by me through him. It is not his creation. The main sanction comes from there, goes to him, then it comes to you. Because you, Ritagyana, your wisdom has been stolen away. You think this aspect of Godhead will fulfill my desires, and you go to it. You know, there's something I will share with you. This is though relevant, but a little distantly relevant. I asked a question to one of our very, very senior monks, a realized soul by his own credit, I say, Holy Mother's disciple, Swami Shantananda Ji. In Benares, I had a very good fortune of spending almost a year with him in Benares. And he, being a very orthodox, old type of Swami, he knew that Benares has plenty of Devatas and Devis temples. Vishwanath, Annapurna, Kal Bhairav, Shankata Devi, Shankata Harini, Shankata Devi, Sankat Mochan, Durga Badi, and Barahi. 7 of them. And there are many. But these 7 are mentioned in Kashi Khanda, the scriptures. And each day was earmarked to visit that shrine. That is, you go to the Ganga, you have your bath, clean yourself. First, you go to Vishwanath, go to Annapurna. There is no escape. That you have to do every day. Then you go to that shrine which is dedicated for that day. Mangala, that's a Tuesday, is for Ma Annapurna. Wednesday is for Kal Bhairava. Thursday is Shankara Harini Devi. Friday is Shankata Mochana. And Saturday is Durga Badi. That's how you go. But you carry on. I asked him, sir, I am today in Kal Bhairava temple. What is the mantra with which I worship? He looks at me. Don't you know they are all ancillaries? I was very raw. I didn't understand. And what I was telling you today was I learned from him then. He says, the main source is Lord God of the universe, Parameshwara. And he appears to you in so many forms. Kala Bhairav is the doorkeeper of Vishwanatha's temple. So he has to be propitiated to reach Vishwanatha. So, though he is Kala Bhairava, don't worship with any other mantra. You tell your Ishta mantra 10 times. Because your Ishta mantra is the supreme boss. So wherever you go, even if you go to church, if you go to the mosque, even if you go to the fire temple, please repeat your Ishta mantra. He is the supreme power, the source of cosmic energy, and these are all conduits, these are all ancillaries. This is the idea that Sri Krishna is developing here. I deviated a while to explain to you how it is to be practiced. So don't keep on toying with various mantras. Let all the mantras merge into your Ishta mantra. And this the Holy Mother told Shantananda ji. That again, wherever you go, you recite the mantra that I have given you. Don't think that what mantra should apply to this devata, this devata, this devata. That is the source. This is what he says here, indirectly, and I am sharing it with you. Please keep it to yourself. That sataya shraddhaya yuktaha tasya radhanam ihate labhante cha tatah kaman mayaiva vihitan hitan. They achieve that fulfillment of the desire for which he has approached that form of God or goddess. But know for certain, it comes from me. I give it to them to be given to you. The indirect suggestion is, why go through an agent? Why don't you come to me directly? That is the lesson. Why go through an agent? Why don't you come to me directly? And who are direct? The avatars are direct. The avatars are direct. What does it mean? Let us be a little precise. So this is an area where we should have absolutely razor-sharp understanding. We should not have any doubt whatsoever. What is the understanding? The understanding is that he is the supreme being. And that supreme being manages the whole cosmos, manages our destiny. The whole cosmos moves according to his or her will. You look at it from father figure, you look at it from mother figure, whichever way it appeals to you. Motherhood of the divine, fatherhood of the divine. He does everything, she does everything. Now, what do? I am, because of my past karmas, I am desirous of some worldly things. And the books tell me, the scriptures tell me, teachers tell me, hearsay tells me that this is the form of goddess you worship. He or she is able to give you this. you believe. You forget that there is a Supreme Lord God of the universe, whether in the form of a mother or a form of a father. He runs the show. You have forgotten why. You are so desirous, and at the same time, you are scared to ask for small things from God. Should I ask it from Him? No, let I go to lesser God. These psychological ideas come into you. No, I can't go to Him. He's too good for me. I'll go there. But where the power comes from, it comes from Him. So all this that is being said here means that you are a victim of desire. Because of desire, you do not remember, I am the giver. You think a lesser form of divinity is the giver. Good enough, you go. But remember, for heaven's sake, whether you believe it or not now, I am the ultimate giver. And I supported it by this experience of mine from the interaction from Shantanandaji, who heard from the Holy Mother herself the divine. And now, for us, who is the Supreme Divine? Any form of avatara is supreme. Not gods and goddesses. You know why? Gods and goddesses are created by the sadhakas and sadhikas in whichever form they wanted to have him. They create themselves. And the Supreme Being takes the form of your desirous form and satisfies you. Sri Krishna will tell that later on, that whatever form you want to worship, please do, but remember, I am the Supreme Boss. And who is that I am? Vasudeva Putra, Vasudeva Krishna. And who is? He is an avatar. And avatarana takes place throughout the history of human civilization. That originally it was Kurma, Matsya, Varaha, Vamana, Rama, Krishna, so and so in the Puranic ages, and in the point of history, Buddha, then Abraham, Moses, Christ, Shankara Ramanuja, and others, and lately this Divine Trinity. They have proclaimed themselves, I am the Divine Incarnation. As I told you once, Sri Ramakrishna, to wipe away from the soul and heart of his devotees the deep meditative state in Samadhi, he says, I am, I exist. And later on he says, I have become the absolute Nirgun, Nirakar, Nirvikalpa Brahma becomes a Saguna. And that Saguna Sakar Ishvara, Ami Achi, I am, I exist. Ami Hoechi, I have become Saguna Sakara Parameshwara. And after a while he says, Ami Eshechi, I have arrived. In different form, the different avatars have admitted that they are the incarnation of the divine without losing the slightest divinity from them. We are divine, but we have forgotten it, Jiva. But an avatara never forgets Atanra Chaitanya. Dears, these few shlokas, though they appear to be telling you that though you are worshippers of lesser gods, but ultimately know you are worshipping me. The difference is do it unknowingly, giving somebody else prior importance and forgetting me. He wants you to remember him. Previous shloka was Jo jam jam tanum bhakta. This is the shloka. Jo jam jam tanum bhakta Shraddhaya archatum ichchati tasya achalam shraddhya tameva vidadhami aham. I bestow that so-called energy and wisdom to my disciples, my children, who are following the path of lesser gods. Let them, in due course of time, they will come to me, they will know me. Sataya shraddhaya yukta tasya radhanamihate labhante cha tatah kaman mayaiva vihitan hitan. They do enjoy the results of their prayers. Their desire is fulfilled, but unfortunately they think that lesser form of divinity is given to me. They don't remember it has been ordained by me. That is why they come to you. So dears, let us stop here for the day, and the remaining 8 shlokas will be extremely, extremely interesting. And he will ask himself, why does not my children remember me? Why? And he will say, for the sake of game, for the sake of play and lila, I keep their eyes covered up by my maya, and I enjoy disturbing, seeing the intensity of desire in them to know me. He'll tell you that. It's very interesting, dear. Anyway, let us stop here and prepare ourselves for the next class. Next discourse, we start from the 23rd. Antabantu phalanti sham tad bhavati alpamedhasham devan deva jajo janti mad bhakti janti mamapi. That is it. They reach to him only. But those who think of me, they reach me. The choice is yours. This is perishable, that is eternal. You better make a choice. That is the content of the next shloka that we will study during our next class. Thank you, dears. Thank you ever so much.
Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna